Okay, next anime that we're going to be talking about is Go For It Nakamura. I love this anime. I love this anime so much. Again, this is probably more aggressive in the sense of Witch Hat, where it is definitely an anime that definitely follows the same tropes and definitely follows like similar things. And maybe it's because I haven't watched a lot of like BL stuff, and like I think it's fair to definitely put this under BL. But like, oh man, was this cute? I think it was cute. I think it's also because I resonate with this a lot. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's probably because I resonate with this shit a lot. It is like I saw this, and I won't deny I kind of felt seen watching this. I definitely kind of felt seen watching this because I look at Nakamura and I'm just like, man, I feel it, dude. I feel everything you're feeling. And it's interesting. I remember there is another friend of mine who I was talking to. Their name was Poet, and they came in. We had a little bit of an emotional talk on stream. I don't even know if that VOD's still up yet. But I remember meeting Poet. We're talking about how, like, you know, so many people get upset about like the LGBT representation in media, and how, like, you know, that could seem like kind of bad and not great, and that it's either like super fantasized and fetishized, or if it's just like not there and people are just like, well, you don't need it and stuff like that. But it's stuff like Go For It Nakamura where it's like, oh no, it just follows the same tropes and it follows the same stuff like that. But being able to see yourself there, to like, it feels nice. It just genuinely feel nice to just be like, oh yeah, I totally feel like that. I also appreciate this because okay, again, I am a very big advocate for LGBT media and LGBT representation in media. But my issue with a good portion of it, and don't worry, this isn't gonna be fucking, it's not gonna be red pilly at all. Just fuck all that shit. Anyone that's just like, oh well, blah 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 blah, it's like, oh, why is it there? No, fuck people like that. Those people are stupid and dumb and not great. But my thing with it is that I think there needs to be a way to blend it in that doesn't make it feel
the underscore
so
real
like
underscore
forced and stuff
to
like
underscore
that.
mad said, IMO the best representation for LGBTQ has got to be Bon Clay from One Piece.
Yes!
He's the
yes! Bon Clay is probably the best example of just like that, because it's never necessarily addressed, but like, you know, you can tell Bon Clay is a little fruity, but it's never addressed. But Bon Clay is probably like one of the best characters in One Piece. Just the way he acts, like his whole arc and stuff like that is so fucking good. Like, again, I have many a gripe with One Piece. Bon Clay will never be that reason. Bon Clay is almost a reason for me to keep going. And there's a lot of reason for me to keep going. But Bon Clay himself is one of the biggest reasons for me to keep going. Especially, like you brought up as well, Tio. Stuff like the Owl House. I think it's a really good representation for that, because it doesn't feel like as like hand-fisty, or it doesn't feel like we're being used to be like, hey, we're being like, you see that? We have the gay couple. Do you want that? And it's like, okay, well, like, no, but like, I mean, like, we do, but also like, it doesn't feel like you're putting them in the story to actually have them go through an arc and feel like actual characters. It feels like you just have them to have them. And that kind of sucks. It doesn't feel very great. It doesn't make me feel great. And I'm pretty sure people looking at that, it's like, well, it's good to have that. I'm glad it's in there. But it's more feeling like you're just having them in there for us to watch it, rather than you actually doing something with them for it. And like, the only show I think that could kind of get away with
the
this...
underscore real underscore to underscore mad said, honestly, it's best to create characters that happen to be gay and not just the gay one.
Yes, they need to feel like natural. They need to feel like they plug in very well. They need to feel like they do that. And that's why, with this whole tangent, I really like Go For It Nakamura, because throughout all the interactions, no one's treating it as weird, no one's treating it as dumb, no one's treating it as like, what the fuck, blah, 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 blah. It's treated as like, really nice. Even when there is a girl in like episode 3 that ends up liking Nakamura and being like, oh, I want to like interact with Nakamura, I want to do these things with Nakamura, and like actually has a crush on Nakamura, like it's not treated as weird over the fact that like, oh, he's maybe into that. Now, the one thing I will say is that it does have the thing that I kind of really hate in anime, and it's the girls that are just shipping all the boys together because they can, and it's just like, okay, hey, maybe don't do that. But I get it. It's high school girls. They're going to do that. Everyone in high school did that. It's fine. I get it. They exist. It's better for them to exist and show that they exist than for them to just not exist and not address that. It at least makes it feel more real, if I'm being honest with you. But something like this is nice because, like, no one's questioning the weirdness. No one's questioning the fact that, like, Nakamura likes another guy. It's just normal. It's just cool. And it's just like, oh, this is nice. This is pleasant. It's just happening. No one's like making a big deal out of it. Even the teachers, the like gym teacher who you would expect to be the asshole, is like, you know, talks to him and is like, hey, you know, maybe you shouldn't be, you know, sniffing your hair's crush like that. Maybe you shouldn't be going and like sniffing your crush's hair because it's kind of like, that's a little much in an invasion of privacy. Which he is right. It is an invasion of privacy. It's kind of fucking weird. But also at the same time, like, it's cool that the teacher is like giving the advice of like, hey, don't do that. That's kind of weird. Instead of being like, did you do that to a boy? What's wrong with you? It's just like, hey, if you like somebody, don't sniff their fucking hair, dude. It's like, oh, cool. First of all, W teacher for good advice. We like, you know, we like consent and personal space. But also at the same time, like, it's just nice for him to just be like, yeah, maybe you don't do that to your crush. It's probably will be good. And like, it's nice where it's just like, oh, it's just normal things going to like normal people, like normal issues in this situation. It's just nice. Is the anime itself like super in-depth and special and like that? In its story plot, not really. I mean, like, the anime itself is still like a very tropey, very like, not like tropey in a bad way, but like it definitely falls down a lot of the really bad, like, it definitely falls down a lot of the really bad like super tropes that like romance animes would have. But like, it's still nice. It does help having that. It does help having that because it's like, hey, there's this thing that's not the typical like doomed yaoi stuff that actually feels like, oh, it's just like a normal romance, and I like that. It's just the normalized romance of like in a BL that's like cool and it's fine. It's just this like nervous boy who's just like, oh my god, this other boy makes me very flustered. It makes me very heartbeaty, and I don't know what to do about it. And it's like, I want to try to approach him. I want to do something about it, but like I can't. It is like a typical high school stuff, and it's like, it's definitely in the more charming way, in the more silly way, which I appreciate a lot. There's a lot of things I do appreciate about this, and I'm very happy that this exists. Will I have more to say about it? Probably not. Everything that I say will probably be more. Like, most of the time I talk about this now will probably be me going about it. Especially it does the 15-minute two-story thing where like there's one episode where we find out he's really into octopuses, but they gotta like cut up octopuses for class, or like, you know, oh, what was another one? Oh yeah, they get locked in a school locker, and so they're there for the whole day. Or, you know, we explored like his female crush going after him, and him like wanting to draw stuff and whatnot, and like doing all these like things. So I think it'll definitely be like more slice of lifey romance than like building up an actual story, and hopefully we'll get to that point where they actually do something, which would be nice. It would 100% genuinely be nice to see. But yeah, like I don't think I have like much really else to talk about it. And it's not anything like super crazy for the most part. That's like my big thing. So yeah, but overall, genuinely, if you want just like a cute little BL, non-toxic BL romance, this right here, 100% you need to watch this because it's so good. It's so good in that aspect. Story-wise, I don't know if you're gonna get much of it, but it will feel fresh if like you're sitting there and you're like, I don't want the BLs that are super duped, super fetishized, or super stuff like that. I just want something that feels just normal. This feels normal, and I think that will help it. Oh, also, can I just say, the art style of this is also good, because it feels very like 90s, but modernized 90s. Kind of like a Ranma and a half did, but like, it also leads into it really much because it's playing city pop both at the intro for the opening and at the end. Like, there are some notable city pop songs it plays, and I'm just like, brother, and you got the city pop? Oh, this is so good. I have stayed, and it did the Chainsaw Man 2 thing where like every opening is different. Now, the argument I always bring up, I would rather you know, use one and maybe intros or all that stuff just so you're not blowing your load. But it does feel like this might be a one season anime, so blowing your load, I can kind of get it, and I can be more apologetic for it. Except for Chainsaw Man, where it's like, okay, well, we know we have like multiple other seasons to go towards. How about we go ahead and like, you know, instead of doing that, just save these openings for other seasons so you can have like a banger list throughout the anime's duration rather than just, you know, one. But like, Chainsaw Man's big, they know how to sort the music, so hopefully they know what they're doing, but I digress. Again, if you want a non-toxic little normalized BL that's very cute, very adorable, and it's probably more relatable than most stuff, hopefully, in the terms of like the nervousness of it all, I would definitely pick this up because it feels nice. It just feels normal, and no, you know what, like it feels good to see this shit just feel normal. It's very nice. It's nice. I appreciate it, and I love it a lot.